um, we all know, we all feel how intense it is right now. And, it was predicted that this would get really intense, and that's what is happening. And how do we manage? How do we manage with this, with all this chaos around us? Um, you know, Quieting the mind is one of the best ways that I know of to just come out of the ego, come out of fight or flight, and then to just ask our divine guides to help us, to have this higher understanding of what's happening and why it's happening, to help guide us through. I was just saying this to some people, to those of us in this community, that my heart does go out to people who don't really understand what's happening from a higher level, knowing that a lot of people are starting to, and just asking for, praying for them, asking the light to help lift them up and help them move through this time, because it's very intense. And like we were just saying, the reason it's so intense is that there's so much light coming in. There's so much energy that are helping us awaken. It's helping us expand into our light bodies, into our true, selves as divine beings. And we're starting to, and the light shines on the shadows. So, the shadows are now being illuminated, and they are doing whatever they can do to keep us in control. And, somebody asked me the other day, we were at this homeschool camping trip, and a lot of like-minded, freedom-minded homeschool families. But there was a dad who we become friends with, and he awakened this year, and he started seeing what was going on due to this whole thing. And so, he was asking me what I was reading, because he was reading a book, and I was like, oh God, he's gonna ask me what book I'm reading. I have to tell him the book I'm reading. It's the Palladian Agenda, which is by a channeled information by the Palladians by Barbara Handclough. So I just told him, I was like, that's what I'm reading. And he was like, that's interesting. What's it about? So I told him, I was like, there's a reason he's asking me. And part of me is thinking he's going to think I'm completely crazy. But I told him that this is part of, this massive awakening, this energetic shift. And that, we've been essentially an earth prison for thousands of years. And he said, well, who's doing this to us? Why? And I said, you want me to tell you? I said, well, they're known as the Anunnaki. And in the Bible, they're talked about also as Elohim, as, giants, and these extraterrestrial race that came in a lot like others and kind of colonized Earth. And that, I said, that's what I believe, take it for what you want. And he was listening. He was like, yeah, okay. And I was like, there's all this evidence, that in Egyptian pyramids of these people with elongated skulls, and not necessarily the Anunnaki. Those are actually, I believe, Arturian or Syrian beings, the Egyptians, but just really tall people, but giants. Anyway, and so, and he said, well, how does it connect to today? It's like, well, they're still behind what's happening. They've been ruling us in this sense of control, feeding off our fear, feeding off our anger, manipulating us, and now we're starting to awaken. And they don't like that, because then they can't keep us in control. But they're not all bad, Anyway, blah blah blah. You didn't think I was going to talk about that this evening, did you? I never cease to surprise some of you all. But what I did want to do this evening was really help us just anchor in light, because that is what's going to bring us out of this. And it already is happening. It's just that, we're being asked to rise above, to embody a fifth dimensional consciousness. And even though we may not see that in our external world, if you look at the news and in certain 3D situations, public schools, workplaces, some of those places are doing things that are based in these systems of control. But in other places, there's, sharing food, homeschooling, being on a farm, playing music in community, free, healthy, sovereign ways of living, connecting with others, love. That's 5D, and that's where we're going. But even if you're not in that way right now, you can create your own internal reality, and then the external reality begins to mirror your internal reality. And that's how the law of resonance works. And so one of the best ways to do that is working with nature. And nature has that natural high vibration. I live in the woods. here in, mid-coast Maine, and I'm surrounded by trees, and I'm an earth sign, a Capricorn, and I'm also a Virgo moon. So I am very about earth, and just the trees. I view them as my sentries, like around the property, protecting me. So I and my family, and just there, for us. And I every day I go out and I take our dog in this loop through the woods, and I find a tree to hug, a different tree, just whatever tree. Sometimes it's a birch tree, sometimes it's a pine tree, sometimes it's a maple, ash, beech. There's different trees, and I just hug the tree and listen to the message the tree has for me. And often, sometimes, like, the message feels like they're just like, "Thank you for loving me. Thank you for being here." And sometimes it's like, it's all going to be okay, or you are loved. It's just all about this love, and it feels just really rooted and anchored. And so I wanted to do a meditation this evening to help us really connect with the essence of trees, which is, how I think we're going to be doing more and more of this as we move into the new earth and into fifth dimensional consciousness. So let's do that, shall we? Okay. So you can close your eyes. And before we even begin to really root yourself down. So I don't often always say this, but it is good to put both feet flat on the floor in meditation, especially now, because we want to be anchored in this, if you can, like the roots of a tree. Putting your feet down and then beginning to take a few deep breaths, sitting up tall, as if your trunk is tall, rooted like a tree. Take a deep breath in. And just slowly exhale. A few deep cleansing breaths. Hold this at the top of the inhale this time. Feel all that oxygen flowing through your lungs, and then slowly let the air out. Let any stress from the day flow out of your body. One last deep breath in. Make it a really big one. Fill up your whole upper body and torso, blowing up like a balloon. And then let that balloon deflate as you gradually, slowly, peacefully exhale. And begin to breathe naturally. Just noticing how your breath is flowing. Feel your belly expanding and deflating with every inhale. So feel the air flowing in your nostrils, down through your throat, just like as if you were breathing in, or just soaking up the air like a tree does, soaking up the carbon dioxide. It's kind of opposite what trees do. But soaking up the energy, and then allowing that energy to flow into your veins, through the essence, through the resin, through the core of that tree. And imagining that as if you are like a tree, you're bringing in nutrients up through the bottoms of your feet, through your roots. And feel that energy in the form of light, maybe these nutrients, like nutrients of soil, coming up through your legs and flowing through every vein in your body, circulating around. Just like the tree's sap flows. Feel your blood flowing through your veins. And feel the oxygen circulating around in your veins, bringing nourishment to all parts of your body, to every limb, every branch of your tree. And just like a tree, the top of your head is the top of the very top leaves that are closest to the sun. And feel that sun flowing in. And sometimes trees stretch up, they move to get closer to the sun. Feel your body now even just being pulled up as if somebody was pulling up on a string, allowing that light to shine down on the top of your head, flowing through your body on the inside and flowing down around your body on the outside like water. Allow yourself to receive this nourishment from the earth, from the sun. So trees need water, feeling water flowing. Maybe it's a day when there's rain. The tree soaks up the rain from roots in the soil, and that rain washes away any impurities, any imperfections. Just like any low vibrational stuff accumulates in your body, feel that flow, washing anything that does not belong out of your energetic space. Continue to breathe. Your heart opening, receiving all this beautiful energy. Feel the lifeblood circulating through the trunk of your tree. Notice how still your body is as you are rooted through your feet like a tree. Feel how strong you are in your torso, especially grounded in your root chakra at the base of your spine, even down through your legs and into the earth through your lower earth chakras. Ones we don't always hear about. Feel that as your tether. It goes down your roots that go deep down into the soil, way down. And they spread. Feeling yourself strong, tall, solid, dignified, statuesque, like a tree, at one with all that is, connected, rooted. And then sometimes the storm comes, the wind picks up. And yes, in the forest, sometimes some trees get toppled over, but not you this time. You are an ancient tree with deep, deep roots. And you have the strength to withstand the wind and the storm. And while it swirls around you, your leaves may flutter, your branches may bend, but you are still at your core, in your heart, in your solar plexus, in your root chakra. You're anchored in by your will, by your sovereignty, by your truth, and by your love and your heart and compassion for yourself and for all of humanity and for all sentient beings and things. And while the wind blows at your core you are calm, and you know that it will end, that this too shall pass. And you wait and breathe and allow light, and you trust, knowing that you have the strength to withstand the storm. You can invite in, and they're already with us, just divine guides, beings of light, ascended masters, galactic beings, angels, archangels, all connected to that pure divine source energy of God, to be with you, to help keep you strong, to help you continue to grow, to reach for the sun, and to continue to be solid and anchored in your core, at your center. And feeling this and imagining yourself carrying this feeling with you into the storm as you go through your daily life and interactions with other people who may be in a very different state than you. And still you are calm, and still you are strong. Bringing with you that core, that center, that light in your heart and at your core to guide you. Feel, envision, experience your future self in the coming days and weeks, carrying this vibration everywhere you go, being one with the light. You can even think and say this mantra: I am one with the light. I. We're going to come back into our bodies now, in this space you're in. Taking a deep breath. Coming into gratitude, hands in prayer position at your heart center in prayer mudra, or you can put them over your heart or in your lap, whatever you want, but just give thanks if you can, honoring the trees, giving so much gratitude for their wisdom, for their guidance, for their example, and for the love and healing and resources which they are, that they give to us. Honoring yourself, honoring your divine guidance, within and around you. And you can take a deep breath in, slow exhale, come back into your body, stretch out, move your hands and feet. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Wow. I just love trees so much that I really felt the power of that. Hope you did too. So I always am curious to hear what people experience And, I think, for me, I sometimes we don't realize how intense it is until we take a moment to kind of reflect on how intense it is, because when we're in it, we don't always know, like, wow, this has been really hard. It's really hard to do this. But I just felt that real, um, just, holy shit, we've been through this a lot. um, and I don't know about you guys, but yeah, I have such gratitude for the trees around me, and honor them and thank them for guiding us in this. So I'm going to go read to my kids. And before I do that, I don't know if anybody did share anything here, actually. For some reason, I don't always see the comments that show up in Facebook or Zoom. Yeah, anyway. This week I'm doing a retreat. I'm very excited about it. It's a retreat with the 10-month Soulful Work Method intuitive guide program that I'm doing, and I invited a few people to come for the day as well. And it's on Shabig Island, which is where my parents have a cottage. So I'm looking forward to that. Doing another retreat in October, which is all the overnight spots are full. There's still 4 left for the daytime if you want to come and really bring in the divine feminine. And then I'm doing an angel course, how to communicate with angels. A few of you have already done that, but I'm doing another one. Really, how to connect in with angelic energy, hear from them, understand them, receive their messages, and even connect with, do readings or angelic energy readings for others. It's very powerful. The angels are with us all the time. When we tap into their energy, it can just be so life-changing, especially now. So I'll share that link here. It's an online course. I'm going to be doing a few live classes through that course, but then it's also self-paced. And that starts in October if anybody's interested. I wish everybody knew about angels, because they can help us when we just ask. We just don't realize how to ask and how to know when they're giving us messages back. It's often just shifting energy. They help shift energy. So, all right, I'm going to post that in 2 places here on Zoom and Facebook, and I'm going to say goodnight. So thank you all for being here. Much love and many blessings. Stay strong, stay rooted. We can weather the storm in our sovereignty and in our truth. Okay, bye everybody. Take care.